Did you know before coming into the UFC, the 25-year-old German descent became the youngest WWE Undisputed Champion ever, defeating The Rock at 2002 SummerSlam? Stay tuned with us to know more about one of the biggest freaks of the sport and his stunning finishes in the MMA world. Number 5. Brock Lesnar vs. Min Soo Kim. After seeing the K1 World Grand Prix final in Las Vegas in 2006, Brock Lesnar declared his intention to give mixed martial arts a shot and sign up for K1's MMA League heroes. Greg Nelson and Marty Morgan, the wrestling coach at the Minnesota Martial Arts Academy, were his first instructors. A few months later, Brock Lesnar agreed to a contract with K1 and hired Royce Gracie, a legendary figure in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, to train under him. Lesnar revealed his MMA plans after confirming the agreement with K1 and said, "I was a takedown artist in wrestling, and I hope to do that again. My goal is to get guys on the ground. That's what I'm comfortable with, and then beat their heads in." Initially, Choi Hongman of South Korea was supposed to face Brock Lesnar in the Dynamite USA event in June 2007. However, Olympic silver medalist judoka Min Soo Kim took over for Hongman. Min Soo Kim was knocked out of the battle by Brock Lesnar at the outset, while Min Soo Koo was forced to submit by Lesnar's vicious punches. With ease, Brock Lesnar took guard and began to strike at will. Min Soo Kim was left with no choice but to cling to Lesnar for dear life. Lesnar, who was prepared like a battle-ready tank, quickly took the judoka down, mounted, and struck him 3 times. At the 1:09 mark of the first round, the judoka surrendered to the blows before the spectators could react. Brock Lesnar overpowered Kim and won via technical knockout to make his MMA debut. Number 4. Brock Lesnar vs. Randy Couture. Brock Lesnar shocked the world by defeating one of the most celebrated and successful UFC heavyweight champions of his era, Randy Couture. It only took the Beast incarnate 4 fights into his mixed martial arts career for him to win the UFC heavyweight title. When he defeated 3-time UFC heavyweight champion Randy Couture at UFC 91 in less than 10 minutes, Brock Lesnar proved to be the most lethal fighter in MMA. When the battle first began, it appeared as though Randy Couture would secure yet another impressive victory. But Brock Lesnar, who was almost 50 pounds heavier than the 45-year-old MMA veteran, showed the world what he was made of. With a precise double leg, Brock Lesnar defeated the champion in the first round. The champion in the title fight fought more intelligently, scored more reversals, and delivered cleaner punches. But it was only a matter of time before Lesnar settled into his routine of crushing knees and jaw-crushing blows. Randy Couture was knocked out early in the second round by a short, powerful elbow from Brock Lesnar. Lesnar's eye was cut by the UFC legend's right overhand in response, but the challenger's relentless strength proved too much to overcome. Referee Mario Yamasaki allowed the defending champion plenty of time to recover after Brock Lesnar delivered a straight right that caused Randy Couture to fall to the mat. But then Lesnar unleashed some terrifying hammer fists, forcing the referee to suspend the fight at 3:07 in round 2. Couture blamed Lesnar's size for his defeat and stated, "I felt good. Brock Lesnar is just a big guy. He caught me with a big shot." Number 3. Brock Lesnar vs. Frank Mir. Frank Mir submitted Brock Lesnar in the opening round of the UFC fight, marking his first defeat in mixed martial arts. Lesnar instantly disproved those who dismissed him as a failure and believed he lacked the ability to compete in the octagon by defeating Heath Herring and then Randy Couture in back-to-back victories on the road to the heavyweight championship. Who better than the only person to defeat him thus far to defend his new title against? Thus Lesnar and Mir, too, for the heavyweight championship was revealed for the historic UFC 100 event. "This fight is all about revenge," Lesnar said prior to the rematch. Since their initial battle, a lot of hatred has grown between the two competitors. While the enmity was obvious during the rematch's preparation, Brock Lesnar expressed his displeasure by refusing to touch gloves with Mir. Lesnar kicked Mir in the leg to open the fight before knocking him to the ground. At UFC 81, Brock Lesnar lost to a knee bar from Frank Mir, so when Mir attempted to grab his leg in the rematch, Lesnar sprawled and moved to half mount. He grabbed Mir's neck and began beating him mercilessly over the face and body. During the first round, Lesnar knocked Mir to the ground, kept him there for the duration of the fight, damaged Mir's eye, and Mir smiled the entire time. However, Lesnar wasn't smiling. He was only thinking about getting his revenge, which he did with full force when he knocked Murr to the ground in the second round and then used his wrestling skills to smash Murr's face for a TKO. Throughout the first round, Brock Lesnar hurt Murr. After a clean double-leg takedown to start round 2, the Beast Incarnate stood back up and challenged Murr to a stand-up fight. But much like in round 1, Lesnar brought Murr down again and trapped him while Murr delivered a wing and a few knees. The size and strength of Brock Lesnar, who was out to put misery on his bitter rival, Frank Mir, left him with no chance to escape. Eventually, Lesnar caught Mir's left arm and began using power blows to crush his face, putting an end to the fight. Number 2. Brock Lesnar vs. Shane Carwin. Shane Carwin handed Brock Lesnar one of the biggest tests of his MMA career. The defending UFC champion was wounded by Carwin, who threw him on his back while firing a flurry of strikes after blocking 2 of Lesnar's early takedown attempts. With more than 3 minutes remaining in the first round, it caused Lesnar's bleeding to begin. Carwin was exhausted after beating Brock Lesnar, so it was up to the Beast Incarnate to turn the tide in round 2. Lesnar entered the fight with a left cross and then attempted a takedown, which he this time was successful at after approximately a minute of assessing his opponent. Shane Carwin was pinned by Brock Lesnar after landing several blows on him from the mount position before switching to an arm triangle choke. Carwin initially appeared to be stubborn, but when Lesnar tightened the choke, he gave up. Lesnar demonstrated his MMA skills once more by overcoming the interim UFC champion despite taking a brutal pounding. After successfully defending his title a second time, Lesnar spoke to Joe Rogan. "I just had to weather the storm. He, Carwin, has got some heavy shots. I just had to hang back, and I knew he was getting tired. Each shot was getting less dramatic than the other, and I thought, I'll just let him go." Number 1. Brock Lesnar vs. Mark Hunt. Frank Mir's destruction by Brock Lesnar served as the event's main event. When WWE star Mark Hunt lost the evening's co-main event against Brock Lesnar by majority decision on Saturday in Las Vegas, UFC 200 experienced its own Lesnar moment. The former NCAA wrestling champion defeated Hunt following a considerable period of feeling things out. The Samoan managed to go back to the barrier at first, but Lesnar dragged him to the mat, where he dominated from above. Hunt made a comeback in the second round as Lesnar's takedown attempts lacked the intensity they had in the first. The WWE superstar's physical state started to play a role because he struggled to rise up and couldn't get another takedown. Hunt tried to load up on one punch, which made it difficult for him to accomplish much when he had the chance to tag Lesnar. If Lesnar was worn out coming into the third, Hunt discovered that the Beast Incarnate is still a beast, even when he is low on energy. The former heavyweight champion dodged the blow from Hunt to gain the upper hand. From the half guard and mount, he then continued to pummel his opponent from above. The third and final frame was scored 10-8. One of the biggest headlines leading up to UFC 200 was Lesnar's comeback. Lesnar once had the title of toughest fighter in the UFC. He carried that combination to a UFC heavyweight championship just 4 fights into his MMA career. His unique combination of stunning size, 6'3", 265, and athleticism was a sight to behold. But Lesnar's climb to fame in the MMA world was short. He lost about a foot of his intestine to diverticulitis in 2011, and as a result, he wasn't comfortable in the cage. He was able to prove to himself that he can still compete in the weak heavyweight class by defeating Hunt. The number 8 heavyweight entering the match was the Super Samoan, but he's also one of the hardest hitters, so the victory for the allegedly glass-jawed Lesnar was encouraging if he plans to compete in the UFC again. With that, we've come to the end of this video. Those were some of the top-notch finishes and knockouts which show why Brock Lesnar is still one of the biggest freaks and badasses in UFC. If you found this video informative, do let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching.